I feel like such a boss just knowing how to do that now. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Okay. So today is Tuesday. It is June 3rd. So hopefully by this point, you guys have figured out what your goals for the month are. And if you have a team that has goals, that you've connected with them to hear what they are. And then maybe you guys have talked about the strategy behind those goals. Like I was just saying, it's like come up with a strategy. You got to know where you're going, how you're working, where your focus should be, where your energy should be. So that will help you prepare for this month because truly every month matters. And the work that you do this month not only affects this month, it affects the next 90 days. So if you don't want to be where you are in your business today, then today is the time to make that shift and that focus because what you do today will affect the next 90 days. And 90 days from now, you want to look back and go, man, I'm so thankful that on June 3rd, I changed my focus and my energy and I got some new enthusiasm for this business. Okay, so I'm totally fired up because we're about to talk about something that can completely transform the way that we grow our Plexus business. And we're going to talk about energy and enthusiasm. You know, we hear all the time, you got to have high energy, right? Like you got to bring the energy, you got to bring the focus, you got to stay close to the fire. Have you guys heard that term a lot lately? Like staying close to the fire. So hopefully I can just show to you guys why do I want to stay close to the fire? So because I know we're all working hard. We're showing up, we're doing all the things, but I want us to go a little bit deeper with this and really tap into that inner fire that turns goals from ideas on paper into real unstoppable momentum because that's what we want. We want momentum in this business. And the good thing is, you guys, it can start today. If you don't feel like your business is in momentum, like it can start today because here's the truth. It's not just about what we do, but it's how we do it. It's about how are we sending those messages? How are we following up? How are we posting? How are we having those sip and sees in those events? How are we inviting? How are we reaching out? So high energy and genuine enthusiasm aren't just buzzwords. Like this is not just a buzzword. This is a real thing. And I'll show you, I'll go back decades and I'll show you why this high energy and enthusiasm, why it matters, because they are the engine that drives us to success and the secret sauce behind every breakthrough and every milestone. So just know it's the engine. So you think, okay, if we're a mechanic, we're going to make sure that our engine is running well, right? Like if I'm an airplane pilot, I'm going to make sure that my engine is working. If I'm a business owner with Plexus, I'm going to check and do reflection and take a moment, say, okay, how's my engine doing today? Because you guys, that's something that you can control. You can't always control how your team is going or how their energy is, but you can control how your engine is running. So let's talk about why energy and enthusiasm matter. Let's talk about it. Um, so science, let's talk about science because if you're in Plexus, normally you're going to be interested in science. And I know one of my favorite things about Plexus is that the products work and I love the science behind it. Like I love talking about the candida yeast. That brings me excitement. So we want to make sure that we think about this science because how it affects how you show up. Because when we're energized and excited, our brain releases dopamine. So the chemical that makes us feel motivated and focused. So dopamine, best friend, right? That means enthusiasm literally rewires our brains to push harder, to think clearer, and to connect better. So like that engine, before I message people or call people, I want to make sure that I'm excited and energized, right? Because that's going to help me have more clear focus when I'm talking to them or reaching out to them and better focus. So let's talk about some of the entrepreneurs that we love. John Maxwell, right? Love him. Eric Worre, love him. Ed Milet. Who's that new new guy? I always forget his name. the guy with the Hormozy, whatever his name is, like
Alex.
Alex, right? Like our new best friend, right? Like you're like, okay, speak into my life, buddy, because I love it. And what do they have in common? They have an infectious enthusiasm for their vision. Like Dave Ramsey, we know where his enthusiasm lies, right? He brings it. And what does that do? It compels us forward. People want to follow those leaders because they are genuinely passionate, because passion sparks trust and inspires action. That's what we want to do for our people, you guys. We want to spark trust and inspire action to join us, whether it's the business or the products or both. So I'm going to talk about two stories because to me, stories help me remember things. So let's talk about Thomas Edison. So one of history's greatest inventors. So Edison famously said, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Let me say that again. 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. But what drove all that hard work? You guys, this business is hard work. You think Caitlin and Sharon and Joey and Alicia, do you think they worked hard for their big rank ups this last month? Yes, of course they did. But what drove that hard work? Well, it was that relentless energy and excitement, right? So Edison, he had the relentless energy and excitement about solving problems. He failed thousands of times. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. He failed thousands of times trying to invent the light bulb, but he never lost his enthusiasm or belief that every failure was a step closer. So if you have a failure in this business, you have to believe that's a step closer. And don't let that stall you out. Don't let failure make you freeze or not project and go forward. Like, keep going. Imagine if he had given up. The world might have waited decades longer to have electric light. His passion literally lit up the world. And you guys, I told somebody, a level one of mine last night on a call, I said, I will never step away from Plexus unless somehow something happens where I can't open my mouth. I don't know. But even Joey's shown us, hey, you got a numb face, you keep going. But it's like, I I will never step away from Plexus because I know what we have is something that literally changes people's lives. And that passion for these products and this opportunity is going to keep me going forward, even in the midst of failure. Okay, so Thomas Edison, so grateful, right? That he had that tenacity and he worked with that perspiration. We got to bring that same fire to our businesses. Okay, now I love sports. So, of course, I wanted to grab a sports analogy for us. So, if you don't love baseball, you'll appreciate this story. So, in 2004, the Boston Red Sox, okay, Major League Baseball. For decades, the Red Sox had been plagued by the curse of the Bambino. So, the Bambino was Babe Ruth. That was a nickname for him. So, the curse of the Bambino. That doesn't sound like a good time, does it? I don't want the curse of the curse of the diamond ring. That doesn't sound fun. So it was a superstition that they would never win the World Series after trading Babe Ruth in 1919. So the team hadn't won a championship in 86 years. 86 years. So I look at where I am 10 years into Plexus. I'm still not at the top of the company, but I mean, it's only been 10 years, so I could look at it and go, oh my gosh, I haven't even got diamond in 10 years. Or I'm like, man, it's only been 10 years. And I'm so grateful for the things that I've learned, for the team that I have, for the people that this business has brought me to. So anyway, right? Perspective, it's a funny thing. Okay, but in 2004, the Red Sox didn't just play baseball. They played with unmatched energy, grit, and enthusiasm. And they rallied from a 0-3 deficit in the American League Championship Series. So that means, out of 7 games, they have to win 4 to move on to the World Series. Okay, so They had won 0 and the other team had won 3. Hi, Johnny Lynn. And so
She
imagine,
heard
okay,
your voice and came over saying, Lisa? Lisa?
hi, buddy.
You,
Hi,
you
buddy.
and Alicia, she knows your voices. It's hilarious to
I
me.
love it. So the Red Sox were in a deficit, 0-3. Okay, so I don't care what team you are, but that's a hard place to come back from. Right, Candy? Like if there was a football World Series, being down 3 games out of 7, that's unheard of. Okay. So, and of course, they were going against their biggest rivals, the New York Yankees. Let me tell you, New York Yankees got some energy and enthusiasm. So it's a comeback that no team had ever pulled off, but fueled by belief. And I want you guys to hear these words: belief, passion, and excitement. They went on to sweep the World Series, breaking the curse and making history. So they won after 86 years of not winning. And coming from a comeback story, 0-3. You guys just put yourself in that situation, apply, plug that in. Like, this is where I am. This is where I want to be. These are the things that I've got to break through. And you guys, it's possible. So the team's energy lifted the city and inspired millions, proof that enthusiasm can change even the longest odds. Okay, so you're like, okay, Elise, what does this have to do with me? So in Plexus, when you bring that kind of energy and passion to your business, you don't just get closer to your goals, you create a movement, inspire others, and break through barriers you once thought impossible. I mean, really, same thing. Same thing applies to us. So, what is the Plexus mission and what we're building? What is this mission we're on? Hopefully, I'm hoping and praying that you're like, I want to be diamond. Because if you don't have that goal, what does that mean? That means the people under you, the people that signed up with you to do this business, if you're not going to the top of the company, what your goal is will affect their goals. What your leadership lid will affect their leadership lids. So if you don't have that highest goal, that means somehow you're going to stunt your team. Now, granted, sometimes leaders will rise above their, sponsors or their team members, but typically what the leader does is similar to what the team will do. So our mission with Plexus goes far beyond selling supplements. We're building healthier lives, empowering financial freedom, and creating a community that supports each other's dreams. That's why I love this bucket here, you guys. We're here supporting each other's dreams. I've been around Alicia probably 2 or 3 times that I promise you, I'm cheering her on every step of the way. And that's what we do for each other. That's why we show up to this Power 30. So every product we share, every new customer we welcome, every story we tell contributes to this bigger vision. And enthusiasm is what fuels this mission. Think about the last time you were excited about something, a goal, an idea, a relationship. That excitement gave you the energy to overcome obstacles, to keep going when things got tough. And the same principle applies here to our businesses. Our enthusiasm is the heartbeat of this business. So why are people drawn to certain teams? It's because it's the heartbeat of that team, right? Our enthusiasm is what draws people in. What makes you give up 30 minutes of your time, 9:30 to 10, Monday through Thursday, is because it's the heartbeat of this team. It's what moves us forward and what turns challenges into opportunities and what creates success stories. Your success story. Your success story. I want you to look at your business and think, this is my success story. What is it going to look like? How do I want it to look like? You will have success if you keep showing up. So, how do we after hearing no after no, after being ghosted, after people saying, I hate Plexus, give me my money back, how do we keep this daily energy? Well, I'm going to give you some tools. I want you guys to write this down if you can. First, you got to start your day with purpose. When you wake up, I want you to be thankful for the breath in your lungs. I want you to know that you're here for a reason, that you have a purpose. And I want you to take each morning to remind yourself why you do this business. Visualize your goals and feel the excitement. Before you message someone, before you sit down at your desk or wherever, in your car, in the carpool line, visualize your goals and feel the excitement. So start your day with purpose. That's going to help you maintain that daily energy. Second, I want you to celebrate small wins. Celebrate small wins. Hey, I made it onto Power 30. Candy works full time. She's not able to get on this every time. But here she is today because the last day of school is yesterday. And she's heading out on a convention this week. But you know what? She's here. She's got a wedding coming up at the end mid-June. She's making it to convention, even though it's the week that her son is getting married. It's like, celebrate those small wins. Girl, that shows such commitment and dedication. Celebrate that. I want every new customer, every message, every step counts. Acknowledge those victories and let that fuel your momentum. Let that fuel your momentum. If you're in a funky place with your business, I want you to sit down and think, okay, what wins have I had recently? Maybe you're like, man, it's been a few weeks. Celebrate those wins and think, okay, that can happen again, those same wins. Okay, third, I want you to stay physically energized. We're in the health and wellness business. You need to stay physically energized. So exercise. And that doesn't mean you got to be crazy. We don't have to be John Lester waking up at 4:30 running a 5K every day, even in the flu. Guys, if that doesn't inspire you, you need to check your heartbeat. I'm telling you, it's like exercise, eat well, and get rest because your body powers your energy. You can't neglect it. Like it will catch up to you. There's a reason why they talk about cortisol levels and all of that stuff, and sleep and eating well and exercise, lifting weights. Do all those things to stay physically energized. Number 4, and this is something we do well, we surround yourself with positivity. So engage with teammates, watch uplifting content, and avoid negativity. If you are surrounded by negative people in your life, try to stop that negativity. Don't let it affect you. Life's way too short for that. And there's little tricks that you can do to stop that negative energy from other people. Look it up if you don't know how to do it. One of the best things you can do, like if people are being negative to you, you just don't talk. It's hard to keep that negative energy going if you don't participate. Walk away. Do whatever you need to do. Stay away from it. Protect your mind. Guard your mind with everything you have.
Hi,
Because
how
how
are you?
you, because how, I don't know how to mute people. Anyway, so let me share a quick story just so you guys can understand how this whole last month went down with our team. Those of you that were watching Caitlin, Sharon, and Joey. So I was I love that high energy. I was in a group chat with those 3, plus Megan and Alita. And you guys, you could feel the energy in that chat all month long. Now, I had no doubts that all 3 of them were going to hit their goals. I had no doubts. They had a big old day where the energy was off the charts, and they decided before May that that's what their goal was. That's what they were going to do. They chose. If you watched the call last night, it was fire. If you didn't watch it, watch the recording. It will be well worth your time. So that just shows you it's like you got to be where the fire is, and you got to show up with energy, because that's what it was. It was they showed up with the energy every single day. Now Caitlin said there was 48 hours where she was like, I don't know if I can do this. But you know what happened? But she was with other people that were like, hey, you got this, right? Thank God for her husband was saying, okay, it's like, no, don't quit. You got to surround yourself with positive people that are going to keep you going. And I'm telling you, if you feel discouraged in this business, message me. I'll be happy to encourage you and share some of my energy with you, because that is what it's going to put that energy into action. And that's what you need. Okay. So think about your role, not just as someone that shares about Plexus products, but as a leader. So I don't care if you have one person on your team or 1,000. The enthusiasm isn't just for you, it's contagious. So how you show up in June is going to affect the rest of the team. I know all of us were blessed, right? We're people that were affected by the energy that Caitlin and Sharon and Joey brought. How could you not be, right? And Alicia, like, it excites me when I see people going for goals. That excites me because it's like I know exactly how to, encourage them and cheer them on. So when you lead with energy, you inspire your team to raise their game. Your attitude sets the tone, and when you're excited and motivated, your team picks up on that and their enthusiasm grows. So this is a ripple effect, you guys. It creates a culture where everyone is pulling together towards shared success. And that's what we do. And that's how Plexus teams thrive, by lifting each other up with positive energy. So here's our call to action. And my challenge, I don't know about you, but I love challenges. Give me a challenge. I'm there for it. I'm so competitive. So here's the challenge to you: commit to showing up every single day with energy and enthusiasm that cannot be ignored. Be the spark that ignites your team and all of us, your customers, and your dreams. So decide today, and maybe you think, well, I don't know. How am I going to maintain that energy? Well, say, okay, today, I'm going to commit to today showing up with that energy. To me, I'm committing to 30 days. To me, a 30-day chunk is a good commitment. For the month of June, I'm going to show up with this energy, and imagine that we can achieve it, what our goals are, if we all bring that level of passion consistently. And remember, it's going to be consistent. Yes, Caitlin had a little hiccup, a 48-hour hiccup, but what'd she do? It was like she hurdled over it and showed up with even probably more intense energy to finish out the month and to drive towards that goal. So picture new customers, new leaders, and new income just flowing in, all because you decided to lead with excitement and purpose. Let's make this be a place where, like, man, that team's very enthusiastic. Like, you can't help but feel the energy. At our church, I'm a youth leader, and there's a song that the kids, when they know it's coming, when they hear the first notes of the song, the energy in the room just levels up. It's called Hold the Line. They ask for it, they want it. You can tangibly feel the excitement in the air. So if you can't tell me that when kids that are 6th grade to 12th grade can create that kind of energy, imagine if we did that in our home. I think about my kids. My younger three, they like having me around. And why do you think that is? It's because I bring energy and excitement to my family. I just do. It's just God created me to be enthusiastic. I always call myself, I call myself, I'm very passionate about what I do. And there's a reason why they're drawn to that. So you be that catalyst. You be that ball of energy that your team needs, that you need for your goals this month. So drop a 1, or even drop a fire emoji if you're ready to show up this month. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to take pictures of this, and I'm going to remind you of what this commitment that you decided, this call to action on June 3rd of 2025, that you were going to bring the energy this month. And I'm going to take a screenshot of everyone that's on this call. And if you don't drop something in there, I'm going to be calling you and messaging you saying, tell me what's up. Why are you telling me you can't bring the energy this month? Because sometimes life sucks and sometimes things are hard. And I get that. But sometimes just encouraging, knowing, hey, those hard times, they come for our refinement, they come to make us stronger. I was thinking about my weighted vest this morning as I walked over 2 miles, and then I wore it for another hour, and I took it off, and I was to the point where I'm like, I couldn't wait to take it off because I was tired of feeling the weight of it, but I know it's making me stronger. So you guys go have an amazing Tuesday. Show up today. If you don't have your goals, make them. If you have people on your team, help them, come alongside them. And I'm so excited for what's going to happen with this team this month because good things are coming. Let's go. I got to take screenshots before I exit. Have a good day. Take care. Ta-ta.